Okay, now something's going.
Now something's going. All right. Well,
I don't know why. All I
Yeah.
did was push up one open properties, then it seems to be working. Okay, so it must not be default. It must be line in.
okay. Well,
Can you guys hear now?
you're on that.
Well, I think it's working now.
Think
maybe.
it's working.
Okay. So, I don't know.
Hopefully it sounds good. I mean,
Yeah,
I'll be so
it'll be
mad if
fine.
it doesn't.
Nah, it's all right. Don't worry about it.
They didn't miss much. Let's keep going.
Yeah.
Yep.
Uh,
they can hear us.
Today on the show, they can hear us. Okay, great. We have Terrence
We do.
talking to us about trackless ride systems.
Yes.
What's going on there?
Not a lot.
I don't know why I channeled Sully just then. What's going on there?
No, just kind of going through the progression of what Disney has done with their trackless ride system, going from what it looked like, in the 70s of having a ride without tracks to what it looks like now.
All right.
Yeah.
I love it.
Cool.
I
Yeah.
love
like
this
it.
concept.
We'll see. Don't say that yet.
I think it's gonna be terrible.
I think so
Oh,
too.
great.
You
Thanks.
think so?
Thanks.
No,
That's too
I'm just
bad.
giving you crap.
Yeah, well, that's probably true. Yes, in case you've noticed, I am wearing my tracksuit in favor of this show, in honor of this show. And I have washed it, so Jeremy, calm down.
I feel like we should all wear tracksuits.
No, I'm
I
good.
think
I
we
don't
should
think I
all wear
need a
tracksuits.
tracksuit.
I think you need a tracksuit. You can get a velour tracksuit.
I really, really don't want a
I
tracksuit.
just want to
I'm all right.
It's actually
No.
very warm. I'm gonna
point
take my
out that
jacket off.
I at some point in my life owned a velour tracksuit.
Wow,
Yeah.
you are basic. I mean, I knew that, but like,
Yeah.
wow. Did
What-
it say juicy on the
What
butt?
color? It said BCBG. Even better.
Of course it did.
And what
It didn't
color
say-
was it?
It didn't say juicy. It said
Was it-
gravy.
Light pink.
It was light gray.
Oh, okay.
But-
That's at least better.
But I think
Thank you,
I
Terrence.
think there was a colored zipper. I don't remember. It was hella comfortable.
I'm telling you. So I had the pants on already today, and I'm like, do I have to change the? Oh, Terrence's thing is on. Do I have to change my pants? Because I hate like part of the show. I just like wearing my jammies.
Yeah.
Because what do I care? I'll
Yeah.
throw on a shirt and then
I
I'll
really
just
need
go
to
to bed.
embrace that.
I know. So I just got I just freshly washed the jacket, got it right out of the dryer, threw it on. I'm ready for the show.
Nice.
I'm ready to work, everybody.
Let's do it.
But before we get there, you can find us on social media: Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, Pinterest. We also have the Supreme Resort has their own group, our our other little show there. So be sure to go like them, go subscribe to their feed, auto download all their shows so you don't miss a thing, and then join them on the Supreme Resort Facebook group. It's a lot of fun. Yes,
So I went on the Facebook group. I don't know if I joined it or if I just stalked it.
I think you have
You
to
have to
join.
join it.
Maybe I joined. Whatever. I didn't comment or anything, but like some of the conversations that go back and forth
I
are
know.
so great.
I know,
It's like-
right? We-
So much entertainment.
There, so I'm actually considering starting a Facebook group for this show, but I don't want to have another thing to have to be responsible for, so I'm not going to do it. But Dan runs the Supreme Resort group, and people have very hard
They
opinions
have opinions
on that show, and they are not afraid to let them fly in that group. So it is very cool, especially for a show like that that's already built to be polarizing. It's a great thing to do. So if you like that show,
Really is.
or if you like arguing with your fellow Disneyland fan or Disney World fan or whatever, check that
Or
group
just
out.
watching other people argue.
Yeah.
That's right. Any feedback on this show goes to Taryn at earsup-podcast.com. Show suggestions goes to Terrence at earsup-podcast.com. You can say hi
Hello.
to Bev, and anything else comes to me, Jason, earsup-podcast.com. Why do I feel like I'm like super low? But I think everything's fine,
You
right?
sound great.
We're fine. Yeah, we're good.
Everyone sounds fine. Let me turn myself up.
We've been making a lot of adjustments to the studio. Jason.
No.
Jason has done a lot.
No, we for sure. Taryn has done. No. Yeah. So
No.
we bought some mic arms. Corey, remember our friend Corey? He's now doing the Unpacked podcast,
Yep.
the old Unpacked pod, and something, a theme park pulse, I guess.
Yes.
I don't know, whatever he's doing.
That's the umbrella company. Yeah.
Yeah, I bought these mic arms from him. I bought another microphone from Taryn from him. So we're all decked out in the freshest gear possible,
Yeah.
like a tracksuit. Basically, these arms
Oh,
are
gosh.
tracksuits for our microphones.
Nice.
Yeah, they make us look
I see
good.
that.
They make us feel good. Yes, I've been working out, or not working. I've been working out the issues. Definitely not been working out.
Okay.
Yeah. But I can't remember when I told you about this, but I fixed the audio and so you YouTube people should be hearing clearer sound now. Please let me know about that. You should also be seeing us in HD by default.
Yeah.
If not, I think you can raise that manually. But I fixed the cameras, so the cameras is a wider angle. We're pushing out HD right now. Our volume or our audio should be clear, a clarity. I've
Yes.
replaced all these cables. I did a lot of work.
It looks and sounds great.
I did a lot of work.
Yeah, the
It
camera
does.
the camera looks really good.
I am
Doesn't
so happy and angry about the cameras because I've tried to fix this since we got these cameras.
Oh.
But it took a man. No, I really think there was an update or something like
Something
that where
happened.
it rearranged it.
Because
So
people
don't
are
worry
saying
about
like
it.
in the chat, like, "Oh, you guys look good in 1080." It was at 1080.
It
Like
was supposed to be. It wasn't though. Yeah, it was
I
a
know.
weird thing.
It was
yeah.
like it was so annoying, and then like literally Jason showed me how he fixed it, and it was the same button I've pushed 100 times, and I was like, no.
But it took the strength and conviction of
Oh,
a
Lord.
male. No,
I need a
The,
shotgun.
what was I gonna say? Bless. I forget. I was gonna say something really cool though, but it was about the audio. Oh, if you guys are in the chat room like I am, just pause your audio.
Yeah.
Okay, that's all. Or pause the
Pause the
video.
video.
Yeah.
I did not do that, but I did it now.
All right, perfect. Feedback. Taryn, do we have feedback?
We do not.
What?
I don't know. Where's everybody?
Where is? Oh, you know what? I have feedback.
Oh, well,
I have some feedback.
so you're gonna do my job. Great.
Now you get to do his job.
I don't want to
Switch
see
seats.
this job.
Yeah.
That's right.
No thanks. I'm good.
I thought this came to you, but I guess it didn't. This is from Mercina. Did you do this one already?
Doesn't sound familiar.
Huh. Okay. We should check your Earzup email then. Hey y'all. Hi Bev.
Hi.
I just finished watching your latest YouTube episode and could not, capital letters, stop laughing.
Mm.
Hey Jace, as,
That's right.
as Jeremy
Oh,
affectionately
Jeremy.
refers to you now, lol. Just want to let you know the whole tracksuit situation. This is a very timely email.
jeez.
It's a Greek dad thing.
Oh,
Oh,
jeez.
Yeah.
Lord.
Says,
Oh, Jace.
says, roll with it, dude. Opa and enjoy. You're welcome. Love the show. Keep up the good work. Hi, Jeremy.
Oh, hi, Jeremy.
I think this is the first Hi, Jeremy that we've received on
might
this
be.
show. I
But
don't
it's not
know.
the first. Oh, I love Jeremy. Oh, Jeremy's the best. Oh, blah, blah. Jeremy should be on the show all the time.
Well,
Yeah.
I mean, hey,
It's
those
not
are all
wrong.
those are all correct. It's just like stop. Like, what about me?
Exactly. I'm reading this, so hello. If you want to support the show, go to etsy.com/shop/covears and buy some shirts. Have a couple cove ears up there, but whatever you want to do. The most important way though, patreon.com/earsup. Please go over there. Check that stuff out. If you are a Patreon subscriber, but you haven't checked your Patreon, rewards or whatever in a while, do me a favor. Go and just make sure that your card is still valid, because we've lowered a little bit, and
Right.
some people you can decline every month, and if you do that, that's fine. It's your money. I understand
Yeah,
that totally. You can't support us 100%, but be sure to jump back on that train because we definitely need you now that I've hawked everything I
Yeah.
own.
Now that we broke.
Yeah,
Yes.
to buy new equipment and stuff like that. So anyway, just little account maintenance. It happened to me a couple times. I guess it happens to everybody. When you have a subscription service and you have your card and it just kind of rolls over, you don't really understand or you don't know or whatever.
Yeah.
So like we were trying to watch Netflix a couple months ago. I was like, oh, card.
Yep.
That's right.
Yep.
We're gonna need to do this. So anyway, check that out. A few updates before we get to Terrence. The Supreme Resort, the new show is out. The Case of the Wildest Ride in the Wilderness, which is comparing Big Thunder Mountains between Disneyland and Disney World.
Okay.
Which is the best? I don't know. I mean, I know because I edited it and put
Wait,
it up
Big
there,
Thunder
but-
Mountain and Big Thunder Mountain?
Yeah.
Yes.
They're not exactly the same?
Listen to find out, Terrence.
I love that.
Da-da-da-da-da-dee.
Glad
Because
you
you have
asked.
ride queue differences, you have location differences also.
Okay. Interesting point.
One has
I mean,
certain
I don't-
things, one has other certain things, and you get a little
Interesting.
history about it too.
Okay, that's interesting because my knee jerk, which is always going to be Disneyland, is that it's in a very good location.
It is.
Huh.
I don't remember if we even rode it in Disney World. I feel like
I don't think we did because I was like, why?
that's what I thought too, unbeknownst to me. But I know when we were doing Disneyland, it was more of let's ride everything we can't get at in
Yeah.
Disneyland.
Because
Totally
you only
makes sense.
have
Yeah.
like a finite amount of time
Yeah.
Energy.
and energy, and it's hot.
interest.
It's just hot.
That's true. So check that out. Be sure, like I said, to join their Facebook group, the Supreme Resort. Dan over there will take good care of you. Hit the streaming player if you want. That's all on the how to listen. Blah blah blah. Patreon people. That episode of Things Tara and Google, people are loving it. People are watching it. So check that out. Please do that. That is for all levels of Patreon supporters. So if you want to be $2 a month, you can watch these shows that Taryn puts a lot of work into, and I have nothing to do with. So that's why I fully support this kind of content. If I don't have to do a single stupid thing about it, and Taryn gets to do all the things, then
And it's a lot of work. So
it's a lot.
so
of
tell
work.
me you love me, please.
I thought about you. I thought about that video
Did you?
yesterday when I put our nonstick pan into the dishwasher. It was like, I should wash this by hand and then close the dishwasher and turn
Ours
it on.
is still in the sink because I'm like, okay, well, I can't put it in the stupid dishwasher, but it's still caked with stuff. So what do I do?
Your problem was that you admitted knowing that,
Yeah.
I mean,
Yeah, she
Trust
admitted
Trust me,
it.
it didn't end with that episode. It
Oh, I'm
was
not
like
surprised.
it hasn't ended yet.
That's right. Taryn was grounded. Actually, I think she
If
just
you
came off
could-
restriction last week.
If you could ground me, I think you would.
You would never leave the house. That's how much trouble that you get in. I don't know. Before we get, again, to Terrence, let's talk concierge for a second. So actually, speaking of the Supreme Resort and concierge, Eric, the guy who does our drinks blogs over there, over here. Why is my mic moving? My thing's falling. See, the problem is I need to like clamp it on this thing.
do you want me to go down there and tighten it?
Yes, please.
Okay. BRB.
Yeah, can you hold that, Taryn? Yeah, let's just pause, I guess, because
Yeah.
I was going to keep trying to go like, I'll just go like this. So Eric, who does our drinks blogs over on our website, he works for Concierge, of course, and he's going to be guest hosting, not guest hosting, but guest something.
Oh, God, I broke it.
Oh no.
How did you...
Did you turn it the wrong way?
No, I turned it and then it just cracked.
How did you break? How did you break
wow,
this?
it's
Holy crap!
Oh no. John Mayer.
What did you do? Are you serious?
I just tightened. You were like, tighten it, and I went to turn it one time. I turned it one time, and it went. I'm not like.
Well, I guess we're not returning the other one.
I'm really sorry. I promise I didn't turn it like 86 times.
Look at that. Broke.
That's insane.
She broke my clamp.
Oh God, it was.
I'm holding a microphone arm like a sword. How did you...
I don't know.
Bev's got that strength of like 10 men where she doesn't really understand.
They're calling her Hulk.
Yeah. She-Hulk.
I
Bev
turned-
Hulk.
You turned it a bunch before the show, and then you're like, "Oh, tighten it." So I tightened it. I went, "Rare," and it went snap.
Don't make me hangry. You wouldn't like me when I'm hangry.
I'm sorry, Bev. The dinner
Yeah.
wasn't ready.
Well, now I don't know what to do. I don't have to hold this dumb thing. It's going to take me 5 minutes to switch out the microphone, so I'm just going to hold it like this now.
For the rest of the show.
What am I supposed to do?
I don't know. 5 minutes might be better than holding it.
I think it's hilarious. Not that it broke, but for you.
Yeah, then now I have to, and this is my life
That's
now.
your life now.
Yeah.
Here, let me give this back to you.
Oh, thank you.
That might
Thanks,
be
Bev.
useful.
Appreciate that. Wow, I'm gonna return that. That should not have snapped like that.
Oh, is
That's
that the new
crazy.
one?
I mean, all the clamps are new. So,
Oh,
yeah.
oh, the clamp. Oh, right.
Yeah.
Huh.
Yeah, that happened.
Well, there you go.
Live radio.
Oh,
I'm really sorry.
That's okay. You didn't do it on purpose. I'm sure.
Beverly.
I can't even get the thing out of the thing.
Tom,
Beverly's been working out.
No, I haven't.
like James, way
You
to help
shouldn't.
out.
Yeah. You know, Bev, I brought you in here to make my life easier.
I'm sorry.
Yeah. Not harder.
That was
Oh,
your first
boy.
mistake.
Yeah, that's true.
Honestly,
Well,
he's not wrong.
anyway, Eric is going to be hanging out on the Supreme Resort, I think, in March. One of the shows in March.
Nice.
So that'll be a good time. But until then, if you guys are planning any trips to the parks or Disney cruises or anything like that, the folks at concierge.com will help you plan all of that kind of stuff and like that to make your trip a lot better. I'm just so distracted right now.
I think
Looking
it's
at
hilarious.
my broken clamp. Whatever.
I know, and now you're like loungy for the whole show.
Now I'm lounging for the whole
Just
show.
chill, bro.
That's kind of what I
I had
wanted.
to-
bro.
I had to like adjust the camera because you're back so
I'm
far.
loungy. You know what I might do?
He
I
called
just
you Freddie Mercury.
oh, somebody.
Oh dear.
Oh Lord.
Won't somebody kill me?
Was he like known for holding a microphone a certain way?
Yeah, he
Yeah.
would take the mic, the top half of the mic stand, and have it like that.
Oh,
And so he'd hold the
he
mic
was
and
so
hold the.
cool.
Yeah, he was. I liked him.
He was so cool.
That's like
He was amazing.
like
He
if
was
you could
amazing.
regret
guess.
things that like you have no control over. My regret would be that I never went to a Queen concert
Yeah.
Same.
with him. I know I can.
But
go
you
to
were
one
like-
now, but
I w- if I try to do
4.
that.
yeah, no, I know. That's
Okay.
what I mean. I'm regretting something I
Yeah.
have no control over.
Yeah, only you would have regrets over something that you didn't even weren't aware of.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I
I've
don't-
watched videos.
A lot
though.
of people have regrets like that. Like I wish that I was able to go to. Well, yeah, it's a wish.
It's
not,
not
a
a regret.
It's
Right.
a desire. Yeah, I wish I could have seen the Beatles live, but you know.
Somehow a
Mm.
regret feels easier to handle for me when it's because like, it's like a wish that can't ever come true, and that just seems very sad. So I'd rather it be a regret because then I'm just like, okay, well that can't happen. Whereas like a wish of something that can't ever happen is like,
I'm trying to.
I feel like the
But a
Terrence
regret.
thing
It's like more
it-
sad.
sound should be
It's
happening.
like it sounds like you're sad that you couldn't have done something. Like, man, if I could have just been in Memphis back in '67, Martin Luther King would still be alive, and I'm so regretful I wasn't able to do it.
yeah.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
What can I say?
Your psychology is very weird because like it a regret implies that you could do something about it, and so that means that you have guilt about something that you actually have no control over.
Like you could quantum leap,
Right.
go back.
Yeah.
I totally
I wish.
I totally see that. But wishing for something that you know that can't happen, that seems even sadder because it's like, oh, I wish,
But
and
It's not really a
But a
wish.
regret
It's like a
is putting it on
100%
yourself.
guaranteed to be unfulfilled forever.
yeah.
But that's not. I wish I could have seen the Beatles is different than I regret not seeing the Beatles because you never had a
No,
never had a
I re-
chance to see
I
them,
regret
right?
that I will never have the opportunity to see them.
But it's not a regret.
It's
You're
not a
putting you're
regret.
putting the onus on yourself
It's
at that
just- you're
point. It
wrong.
doesn't
You
work
just say
that way.
it's too bad I couldn't have, and then you leave it alone because
Yeah, but it feels
Because
deep.
it's a wish.
Yeah.
It's deeper than it's too bad. Like my desire to have seen Queen when I was 4 is deeper than I wish that had happened, or oh, that's too bad that didn't happen. It's like I regret that didn't happen.
But how
I know,
can
but
you
but
regret
this
it,
but this
though?
is sort
It
of
was
the
never an
point.
option.
Yeah, no, I know.
It shouldn't be because you have no control over it, so you need to let that go.
Right.
You have no control over a wish either, so why are y'all making
Yeah.
wishes?
I'm not making a
I'm
wish.
not making a wish.
You
I'm not
did
saying,
make a wish.
Hold on,
That's
hold
what
on.
started this.
Make a wish. So I'm not saying-
I got
I'm
a
not-
wish. I'll
okay.
tell you that right now. I got one wish, and I bet you can guess what it is.
Yes. Probably has something to do with the clamp.
Oh, that's sad.
I feel really bad.
You're gonna change it out?
I have to.
So we're pausing.
Yeah.
Yeah, let's pause for a second. I
Sorry,
gotta
guys.
change it. I gotta change this out. I can't sit here and hold this forever.
As cool as you look.
I broke the new studio.
You broke the entire studio. Is that Cheryl?
You probably broke.
Right?
You probably broke like the worst mic too, like the worst one.
The
to
worst
break.
one to break.
Although maybe it's the best one.
I shouldn't have to flip it.
No, you don't need to flip it.
It's the cardio.
You don't need to flip it. You don't need to flip it.
But it says you do on the thing. Like
Is it gonna be upside down? Is it gonna sound completely upside down when you're talking? Right?
Oh, like that guy on Twin Peaks.
I've never seen that show.
Really?
either.
No?
Oh, that show is so weird.
any of you guys would like it.
Yeah, it's kind of a hard show to like.
That sounds weird.
Like old school Twin Peaks?
Yeah. Oh God,
Yeah.
don't even try the new one.
Okay, okay.
Dog shit.
Dog poop. Dog poo poo.
Like it was. Like,
But the old ones like
dog shit.
are interesting. They're unique. He has a unique New York.
Unique New York.
You need unique New York. You know you need unique New York.
Wow.
That's what you do before you go on stage.
Really? I've never done that.
It clears out your.
Oh.
I usually just vomit.
James said you should Britney Spears the mic and go headset.
That's
That's a look.
That's a
With
good
your
idea.
tracksuit?
oh
Hell yeah.
wow. Then if we all got tracksuits, then we would just be like basically a boy band
Yeah.
with 2 girls.
I'd be so basic.
Yes. We would basically be a boy band, but with 2 girls.
You sound upside down.
Do I?
No, you
How's-
don't. You sound fine.
Then why does it tell you to?
We would be a
It's like
band.
different modes, I guess. Wait,
You look fine.
talking like this. Well, that's how it would be the other way. But then talking like, see, I think I sound better this way.
I think you do too.
Yeah.
Do I really?
I actually do hear
Yeah,
it.
you
Yeah.
Really?
Again, I just want to point out that I'm very sorry.
I'm just gonna hold it like this. I'm gonna hold it like this.
You look like the guy
You're
announcing
gonna do
a
this for
boxing
like
match.
10 minutes, and then you're gonna go and put it on the thing.
ready to rumble.
Yeah, maybe.
You
Hang
do
it
look
from
like
the
that.
ceiling.
You mean Michael Buffer?
Mm-hmm.
Sure.
Yeah. All right.
Dan, okay, first of all, Dan is saying I'm dissing Twin Peaks. I am not. I'm dissing the new Twin Peaks.
Yeah, Dan, if she's dissing the new Twin Peaks, which she is, she has every right to because it was terrible.
And the old Twin Peaks was great. It's just weird. I wouldn't recommend it to people because
The first season,
it's weird.
The first season of the first season of Twin Peaks was great filmmaking, great TV. And then everything went to hell in a handbasket in season 2, where it was campy and weird, and David Lynch left. But the movies were good, and you don't even need season 2 because it's terrible.
Okay.
Thank you very much. But just try it if you like weird. Anyway, let's talk trackless ride systems,
Yes.
huh? Terrence?
All right. So this is going to be short.
Do you need me to tighten your microphone?
Don't touch anything.
Sorry.
All right.
Actually, cinch his belt a little bit.
No, get off me. All right. So roller coasters have tracks. Dark rides have tracks.
Yeah.
Trains have tracks.
My arm has tracks.
Yeah, everyone has have tracks. Like tracks is a mainstay of amusement parks and attractions forever. Disney Imagineering made history by developing the Matterhorn and Ford's Magic Skyway, but the former was just the first tubular coaster which still used tracks, and the other was a precursor to the Omni Mover that we see in Haunted Mansion and Buzz Lightyear, which still uses tracks. Tracks have been a mainstay of attractions forever. Now, there were some rides that didn't have tracks.
It's in the title, a track.
It's
Shun.
there. Like, it's right there. So, I like that.
nice.
It's an attraction. I love it. Luigi's Flying Tires and the tire ride that was in Tomorrowland beforehand
Garbage.
were... But, so,
Excuse me.
no, but you're right.
You
So, they
okay?
were...
Yeah, I'm okay.
So those rides did not have track, but they still had some kind of visual boundary for you. Flume rides. So if you think of Small World and Pirates, there's still boundaries there. There's things that if you look, you know I cannot go past this point. There's always some kind of visual cue. Well, things began to change in 1982. On October 1st, the Universe of Energy opened in Epcot. This attraction had a track.
Sounds boring.
Awful.
Bro, so the Universe of Energy was turned into Ellen's
Ah, yes.
Energy of Energies
30
or
minutes
whatever
of
it is.
talking.
Yeah.
Which we 100% on purpose did not go to
But
when we were there
Jeremy
because
plays the whole thing on Spectra
I
Radio.
cannot stand Ellen DeGeneres.
It's close.
I'm warming up to her a little bit,
her.
honestly,
I love
after her John at the Golden Globes.
Yes, I love Ellen. I do.
I'm like, okay, like I get it, but just nobody is that nice, unmedicated. There's no way. There's no way.
But maybe she is medicated.
But she seems really great. So now I'm a huge Ellen fan.
She does. I think she's just a great person.
I think so too. So things changed in 82. October 1st, the Universe of Energy, which became Ellen's Adventure Through Energy or whatever it was, which is closed now, which is becoming an attraction
filled
for
in.
no, they for do you want it? No. For it's going to be something to do with the Avengers, so that's going to be opening soon as well.
nice.
So October 1st.
I love the Avengers. Sorry.
Oh, you were
I
serious.
can never
Yeah.
tell if you're serious or not
Oh,
when you
I
say
totally
stuff like
thought
that.
you
I
were
was
kidding.
totally serious.
So it opened in October 1st of 82. This attraction had a trackless, quote unquote, trackless system that would take you through a dinosaur swamp. In actual, right? So in actuality, stay with me. In actuality, the vehicles actually use magnets to follow an 8-inch wire implanted in the floor. It's called wire guidance. It was borrowed. It was technology borrowed from warehousing, and so like from a previous life with me, I know. From a previous life with me, I was a manager in a warehouse, and we had very narrow aisles, and we had forklifts that would use wire guidance to be able to travel up and down aisles in a straight path without the operator having to turn.
What does that mean? Like,
So you basically have a very small ridge cut into the floor.
oh.
Now, with the vehicles we used were self-propelled. They had I can't
What is
stop looking
happening?
at Jason. He's
I'm making fun of Taryn. What does that mean? And then you tell her, and she goes, "Oh."
she's just being engaged.
I'm actually kind of fascinated by this too.
So with the forklifts, and then we had huge things called turret trucks. What they would do is they each had their own electric motor on board. Instead of using magnets, because the wire itself was not pulling the thing, it used a laser in the front, a laser in the back to align the vehicle with the ridge that's cut in the floor. When it's locked in, it locks in your position left to right. You cannot move left to right. But you can move up and
Oh.
down, and you can move forward and backwards at
Okay.
full speed. So at that point, you're locked in, and you can drive as fast as you want up and down this aisle.
What's
because
the
you
braking
want-
system like?
The braking system is just not pressing the thing. It stops you almost automatically in
Really?
forklifts like that, yeah. So you can move forward and backwards as quickly as you want it. You can go up and down, but you were self-propelled. Your motor was on board.
Okay.
So they used something like that, but the wire itself was actually what was pulling people. But the problem with this is that the attraction was designed to take you through a swamp, and the magnets were used, and you're being pulled, but you couldn't go fast. You were making big sweeping turns because you had to follow this line that was on the floor. In '94, the Twilight Zone Tower of Terror opened in Disney's Hollywood Studios. Did you guys ride that when you were out there?
No, and honestly, like, if I could go, well, I will go back someday, but I will
Right.
ride it because I didn't realize it was completely different.
It is. So for all of us that love Disneyland and the California Adventure one, because of what they learned in Florida, they decided to have 3 elevator shafts so you have more capacity. When they first built it, it actually has two different elevator shafts for each car. One is the beginning of the show where you're going through the different scenes. Then it takes you up to the top. And then they did something that was kind of neat. It's the same kind of thing as what they used on the Great Movie Ride, where you're going through on a self-propelled vehicle. But they have the same kind of wire guidance, except these are locked in with lasers to keep you on the track, keep you in line. And you exit one elevator shaft, and you go into the 5th dimension. And you're going through this next show area to go to the drop elevator shaft. And so they used what they had done previously, and they improved it by having it be self-propelled, but it still was extremely slow.
So wait, I just have a question.
Okay, that's fine. You got it's just me and you, Taryn.
Okay, it's just us.
I just have a question.
I have a question. So you were talking about the little wire thing, right?
Yes.
Is that what they used here too?
So we'll get to that.
Because to me, because my argument was going to be like, that's a track.
Right. So when I say trackless, it's air quotes. Trackless.
Ah.
Because what they're trying to do is prevent you from being able to see where you're going and what's going on, and create this air of unpredictability.
Okay.
But
Mystery.
yes. But there's still a track. It's technically still a tracked ride because they hadn't gotten to the tech to the point where it can be what we see in parks now.
Gotcha.
So, like I said, there were several issues with all of these rides. First, they moved very slowly. While not being able to see the course of the vehicle was exciting, everything was done at a very slow pace. So wire guidance was not designed for speed, but rather it was designed to simply help you get from a predetermined point A to point B. And that's the most important part, a predetermined point A to point B. Now, while this works well for automation within warehouses, this does not make a good thrill ride. Second, there was no element of randomness to the ride. While the initial shock of being quote-unquote off the rails is cool, you still have to work very hard to ensure that the ride is exciting enough due to the theming that the repeatability is high. And they were not able to succeed at this. It was kind of neat, but it wasn't cool tech. And as we know, Disney always goes for cool tech. So in September of 2000, Disney introduced a new technology to the world that took an old character and introduced him in a very new way. Now, to most theme park visitors, it did not make sense to create a ride based on Winnie the Pooh. But if you have new technology that you want to showcase, why not base the attraction on something more exciting? You know, like legit. Why in the world would you say Winnie the Pooh is what we're going to do?
And sidebar.
Yes. You sound great when it's that way, buddy.
Do I really?
Yes.
I just finished editing the latest Supreme Resort episode comparing Winnie the Pooh rides.
Oh.
So there's a lot of this that's not a lot, but there's some that they touch on exactly the questions that you have right now.
So...
And Dan Shaw in the chat of the Supreme Resort, everybody.
Yes. Spoiler alert. This Winnie the Pooh, so much better, in my opinion. And if they disagree on Supreme Resort, then we're going to have a board meeting about whether or not we keep that show.
Can I have I have a theory on why they...
We'll have to go to a fight at the Grand MGM Grand in Vegas.
I'm okay with that.
I want to go to a fight.
It was a joke because that's how Tupac died, so go ahead.
Yes. Oh.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh.
Tyson fight.
Yeah.
I didn't know
Yes,
that
I got you, bro.
I still want to go to a fight.
Okay. We can make that happen.
I don't.
Yeah.
So I have a theory.
It's weird because every time I argue with you, you hate it.
Trying to give you what you want.
Yeah. Women, right?
Oh my
Sorry, go
gosh.
ahead.
I have a theory on why they chose Winnie the Pooh to test out their trackless system.
Okay.
And that's because if it didn't work, no one would care.
Okay, so
I want to build on that for a second.
That's pretty good.
Because I think she's not wrong.
Build
But
her.
also, I think that there's a baseline of people who love Winnie the Pooh, so it was going to get traffic.
okay. So you're both right.
Hell yeah!
And then
I
there's
love
more.
being right.
There's more. So there's two answers to why you would use this new technology and you would take this character. The first is you have to know your audience. You have to know your audience. The second one is you have to realize the true potential of the entire breadth of the characters. Like if you everyone in there, you have to look at what every single person that's a character in Winnie the Pooh is capable of doing. Now the attraction was launched at Tokyo Disneyland, and Pooh merchandise, sorry, and Winnie the Pooh merchandise was already selling like hotcakes over there. I hate that saying.
I know. Well, hotcakes particularly. I feel like Seinfeld now.
Do they
I know.
sell?
What is with
What's with the hotcakes?
I've never known anybody to buy a particularly large amount of hotcakes. I would be willing to bet that hotcakes wouldn't even outsell water.
You're reminding me why I hate Seinfeld.
Seinfeld's so great.
Yeah, I'm like midway through season 7, and I'm like, I don't know what my problem was when I was, I don't know, Bev's age.
Yeah, this is so good. Anyway, so Winnie the Pooh merchandise is already selling well. Second, Tigger. But we're going to get to that in a second, okay? For this one-of-a-kind trackless technology, the Imagineers created a completely flat, grid-like floor with electronic sensors placed throughout the floor. Now, there's a computer, and for the rest of the time, we're going to call this computer the director. The director is in each scene of the attraction, and it draws on local positioning system like GPS that communicates with each vehicle and guides them based on the floor sensors. So the director knows where every cart is in the scene based on what the sensors on the floor is relaying back to the director. Because of this technology, 8 vehicles can exist at one time in any one scene, and there are times where they perform the same way, go in different directions, or even dance together. Luigi's,
Okay.
Yeah.
Luigi's
Luigi's
rock and
terrible.
roll. Yeah, we'll get to that as
Terribleness.
well, right?
Okay.
So at the beginning of the ride, you load onto your honey pot, and 3 pots are launched at any given time. The 3 pots gather in a triangle in front of the ride's opening scene, and then they follow their own path through a large blustery day room. Now, while your vehicle might be following Pooh as he and his red balloon get blown from one scene to the next, all of this is on large projection screens. Another vehicle might be watching a scene with Al. Now, since there's no track, you really have no idea which specific path you're going to take. And since there's no track, you can now utilize the entirety of the room. You can go
Right.
from wall to wall to wall to wall because your position's always being relayed back to the director. Now, eventually, the 3 pots gather to bounce along with Tigger at one part of the scene. Now, when you're in the Tigger scene, you're bouncing with Tigger. Now, stop to think for a second. Have you ever been on a ride that bounced smoothly? Now, not a drop ride, not Indy, but something that kind of moved up and down like you would normally if you jump.
No.
Okay,
I mean, Indy's the closest thing I can think of, but
but
That's
it's
not
not smooth. It's jerky.
because it's not meant to be smooth.
Right.
The
but it's the
jellyfish.
similar.
The jumping jellyfish.
Yeah.
Okay, let's go with the jumping jellyfish. That
Okay.
sucks. Let's not even worry
Yeah.
about that.
Sure.
It
Let's
doesn't really-
appease Bev for
Yes,
a
let's
second.
appease-
Whatever.
So besides,
You asked the question.
No, you're
Yes.
right. But so
No.
besides,
answered.
Yes, the jellyfish.
Yeah.
Yes. Very good.
so besides that, you really don't get a ride where you do something like that.
Yeah.
So the Imagineers used a little bit of trickery to complete this one. The entire area is moving. Not only is Tigger moving on the screen, but the perspective of the screen is moving up and down. So it's almost as if the camera is tilting up and tilting down with Tigger moving to make it feel like you're moving along. Then the ride vehicle itself is moving very, very subtly. But the biggest thing is that the floor itself is moving up and down.
What?
The
No,
floor-
it's not.
The floor itself is moving up and down as well. So instead of trying to get the hydraulics on the vehicle itself to move up and down, the entire floor is moving up and down in sequence with the screen, in sequence with Tigger on the screen as well.
I'm in shock.
That's amazing.
Not tell if you're being serious.
No,
right now
I'm
or
dead
not.
serious.
Okay.
Like I would have never guessed that. That seems like a nightmare.
So it's pretty amazing, but they like I said, this is a quote unquote safe way to do it.
This
It's
is
a-
Disney World Winnie the Pooh.
Yes.
This is not Disney World Winnie the Pooh. This is Tokyo Disneyland.
Tokyo Disney.
Tokyo
Yes.
Disneyland.
It's not
Winnie the
It's
Pooh.
not
ours.
ours. I knew that.
It's not ours.
No, I definitely knew that wasn't
Yeah.
ours.
No, so $130 million on this ride, and the ride was a hit.
Wow.
Absolute
Of course.
hit.
Well, it's
Absolutely.
Tokyo.
I mean, with all that, it could have been Ellen's energy ride, and it probably
Mhm.
would have done really well too.
Because the technology is fantastic at this point.
Yeah.
But they're realizing that this trackless technology can be used in a way that they never really imagined before. So the second trackless ride system was launched in September of 2001. So, which is literally a year later, in Tokyo Disney Sea for their new water ride. The ride is called Aquatopia.
Oh.
I was just waiting for Beth to say
Gosh.
something, right? So while Pooh's Honey Hunt had 3 different paths that you could take that all depended upon which car you were loaded into, Aquatopia is not as simple. This ride works on the same GPS system, if per se, but it gets more of a workout here with dozens of routes that you can take that are constantly changing and shifting. Now, the name would suggest that this attraction is in the same vein as Autopia or even the defunct water boats that we used to have in Disneyland.
Yeah. Immediately, I thought
Okay.
Yeah.
Autotopia because it's what did.
It
Yeah.
was, it was
Yeah.
a thing at Disneyland.
Right.
Shouldn't have been. Nothing technically should exist.
Disneyland shouldn't even exist, to be
No.
honest.
I
with you.
know, let's get rid of it. But the difference is that you're 100% out of control on this ride. You are not driving anything.
Yeah, that's me on Autopia. I'm
Just
I'm
banging
out of
back
control,
and forth.
dude. Yeah, I just push the
That
gas.
actually is me.
Yeah, I know.
I don't steer. Just like let it happen.
Gas, brake, dip. And so you're just in the car, and the car is doing the show, and you're enjoying the show
Mhm.
on this vehicle. And you're actually sitting on a hovercraft that sits on top of a 2-inch deep lagoon, which is deep enough to hide the wheels are actually moving the vehicle around. Now, the local position system is coupled with pole-mounted cameras. They saw that there are
mounted. Okay.
there's cameras on each vehicle that has that's mounted on the poles above the people to survey what's going on around and look to see if there is any kind of debris or anything that falls off of someone's vehicle that they don't hit it on accident. So it'll stop you and reroute you if it sees that something's in the path that it's going to take.
Does that happen a lot? Do you think?
Think
I
of
guess
hats.
often enough.
Think of hats. Think of
Yeah.
something. Cause this is not something that's going to sit. It's 2 inches deep, so it's going to be in your way if it falls
Yeah.
off of someone.
All right.
So it's
I'm
it's
loving it.
thank you.
Also what I
It's
heard.
it's a neat concept.
Only Terrence would just have like the
The
musical
McDonald's.
equivalent of an but it's the McDonald's.
You
theme
like that?
song.
So
No.
so it's it's a neat concept, but most people feel as though this is the least exciting trackless ride. It's part of the problem is outside. So you can kind of, even though they have like whirlpools going all the time to try to hide the fact that it's only 2 inches of water, you can still see
Oh.
some of the tire marks from all the rides before.
Sure.
And also the
Shocking.
right, right. And the theming's kind of meh. Like it's not great. You know,
Shocking.
they kind of threw it together real quick. They knew that they had the technology. They wanted to do something in that area, Tokyo Disney Sea.
Yeah.
And so they kind of threw it in there. And so, I mean, it's fine, but you don't have all the classic ride elements of a dark ride when you have the animatronics, and then you combine that with what you have now with projection mapping. They didn't do that with this ride. And so it's just kind of blah. But for more than a decade, if you wanted to visit a trackless attraction, you had to visit Tokyo. That's the only place they had them.
Okay.
That changed in 2013 when Hong Kong Disneyland launched Mystic Manor. Now, since traditional Chinese culture does not glorify death the way that it is everywhere else, there's no references to departed spirits or the afterlife, but this is their version of the Haunted Mansion. It's their version of the Haunted Mansion.
Right.
So this attraction takes you through the antiquities collection of Lord Henry Mystic and his pal, a monkey named Albert. Now, much like the Haunted Mansion, the queue is meticulously designed, but the show begins when you're on the ride. The Mystic Manor utilizes a new version of Tokyo's technology, which instead of using GPS, it uses RFID. So basically, you're scanning vehicles as they enter into areas of the ride so you know where everything is, which works in conjunction with Wi-Fi. So there's 4 Mystic Magneto-electric carriages. This is what they're called, right?
What does that even mean?
It's a doom buggy. That's what it basically is. It's a doom buggy. And they're simultaneously dispatched from the load system where you gather for the first scene, and then each car takes a slightly different ride experience. So
That's cool.
yeah, so you gather in the acquisitions and catalog room of Lord Mystic's Manor, and that's where everything is temporarily stored until he puts it into the proper room. There's like 5 or 6 different rooms based on where these things are from across the world. And there's a music box in the middle of the room. The cool thing about this, if you want to watch this, the cool thing is this is completely in English. The ride's completely in English, so you can understand all the dialogue on there.
That's a little odd.
I thought it was as well. The first time I watched it, I thought it was weird as well. But it's completely in English. And so Lord Mystic tells Albert not to touch this magical music box. Of course he does. And they start using, up to that time, the best combination of projection mapping. They're using 36 different projectors, all using ultra HD images and animatronics. As you're going through, you have animatronics that are trying to stab you. And so the vehicle actually goes closer.
I'm sorry.
Just listen.
Okay.
So you have an area, like you'll have one area where armor comes to life. They have this, they have projection mapping, and then they have netting over some of the animatronics, and they project stars on there to make it look like there's like magic pixie dust coming on, and you can't see the netting, so it looks like it's just on the animatronic. It'll come to life, and it'll start looking like it's going to attack you, and your vehicle, since you're not on tracks, starts moving towards it, and then jerks away at the last minute. So you're able to utilize every single inch of the room. Yes.
I like that and hate it.
What do you hate about it?
No, scare me.
Okay, that's which is the whole point. So throughout the ride, you're whirled from wall to wall as you see instruments come to life, musical instruments come to life, armor, etc. And so it's really neat. And this was like the top. This was the pinnacle of what they've done with this technology up to that point.
Yeah. The question I have is, why Ultra HD? Why isn't it still just HD? Like, because HD is high def.
Right.
Why ultra high def to me is a little overkill.
So I don't know. Okay. Number one, let me say that.
I'm also not being serious.
I understand. It's ultra. It's
Why?
uber HD.
You know what I don't understand?
Oh gosh. Oh boy.
George, what is it with the ultra high def?
Oh God, stop it.
Is it high def enough? What's I remember with the ultra?
So Disneyland Paris decided. Disneyland Paris decided to get into the Trackless Act with an attraction that both reflected Paris and upped the game a little bit. So in 2014, Ratatouille, I did not pronounce saying this on purpose. I wanted to see how horribly I could destroy this.
Okay.
La Aventure Tellement Toque de Remy, or Remy's Totally Zany Adventure is what it's translated to. Gosh, it takes you
Saturday mornings on
Right?
ABC.
Seriously.
Sounds better in French.
You're right.
Even in your butchered French.
Yes, I know. It was horrible. It takes you through the world of Remy and the kitchen at Cousteau's as you are, and it makes you feel like you're the size of a rat. You actually get onto your rat mobile, and you start on the rooftops of Paris, and you board your rat mobile, and you go through the kitchen of Cousteau's. You guys have seen Ratatouille, right?
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay. So they have humongous props to make you feel like you're the size of
cool.
Remy.
I love getting big props, dude. I love it.
Big props,
Yeah.
big ups.
Huge props.
Okay, keep going.
Okay, so so they have huge.
Idiots.
So all the
love
props are huge and oversized. You know, you're whipping through the cold room. You're going underneath the ovens, and so you feel the heat. But it upped
That's cool.
it upped the
heat
game.
between me and
Oh,
you.
jeez. We upped the
I
game.
wish
What
I
is
would've-
that from?
I wish I would have broken your microphone more.
Feel the heat.
Yeah,
What
you
is
didn't,
that?
you
Oh,
didn't break it
it's,
enough.
It's a Prince song. It's
Yeah.
Dove's Cry.
Yeah, there you go.
Oh.
Okay, so
yeah.
so eventually you wind up in the dining room and you cause a stampede of sorts. But the way they up the game is they combined the trackless technology and the huge props with 3D, and so it's all 3D projection, and you have 3D glasses on as well. So as you're whipping around in this rat, you see things coming at you and people coming at you, and so it was pretty neat. So when I think about this,
Oh, here we go.
you're already you're up here. You're at the pinnacle. You're at the peak,
Okay.
and you've seen what works.
What's going on? Are you okay?
I'm trying to figure out.
He's broken.
I think he's crying.
You have seen what works,
yeah.
and
You're
what
getting
comes
emotional.
next does not. So up until
dear.
2016, all of the trackless rides were on the other side of the globe.
Right.
Yeah.
If you wanted to,
That's what works.
if you
Yeah.
wanted
Right.
a trackless ride,
And
you had to
frankly,
go to Paris.
it can stay there.
Well, I mean, you could go to Paris, Tokyo, or Hong Kong.
Yeah.
That's where you would go.
Give me a car on a steel tube pulled by a chain. That's what I want. I want
Exactly.
American-made,
Yes.
American invent. I'm just totally out of that.
Aero Industries, harumph. That's what we want, right?
Development.
Sorry. So up until 2016, all the trackless rides were on the other side of the globe. Then Disney decided that they had to bring the best attraction ever to the original resort. So in 2016, Luigi's Rollicking Roadsters opened. Man, this is terrible.
This was this was their
so
best
bad.
ride ever.
Ever.
Everything. Honestly, everything about that ride is dumb.
Now,
Including its placement. Like, it's hidden. You would never find it if you didn't know where it was. The ride itself is hot trash.
Well, I don't think it's hidden. It's on
It's
Main
there.
Street
It's
of
right
Cars
there.
Land.
It's right there.
but
It's
I
right
mean, you have
before
to
you
like
get
go
that right.
into the gas station. Like,
The last thing it is hidden.
it's hidden.
But it also
If you're
like
wearing a hood
I wear
or
I
a
wear
burlap sack
I
over
wear-
your face, if
I
you're
wear
the Zodiac
cloaks a lot.
Killer, then you'll never see it.
Don't talk about that on the air, Jason.
Oh, why is Ted
because
Cruz
he's
gonna
still
listen?
around.
Yeah.
He might be a listener.
Stop it. Ted Cruz does not listen
Ted
to this
Cruz,
show.
come on. No way.
Is that his real
Wait,
name?
no, Ted Cruz was the president guy.
Yeah.
I keep forgetting. First of all, the president guy.
He ran for the
I keep
presidency.
I keep
right?
forgetting,
Or he
like-
was going to?
It's a president guy.
I keep forgetting how
Sorry.
extremely not online they are.
It's true.
You know what I mean?
It's true.
All right, go ahead.
All right, so Rollicking
Whatever.
Roasters opens
Yeah.
in 2016. The ride is horrible. Honestly, they combine all the worst things about all the other attractions in one thing.
Yeah.
So you have a fairly slow ride that's not
Good.
good. It's not, the queue is meh, and it's outside, and it's not themed well even on the outside part. Like every problem they hit with this ride,
The queue is cute.
but it's also really short.
The queue is
Yeah.
rad.
It's a
I really
gas-
like.
It's just a tire store, right?
Yeah, but there's a lot of like little cute details in it.
They have
I only read
like
it once.
bulletin boards
Yeah.
with like a lot of. It's sort of like the Monsters Inc. queue
Yes.
in that regard.
Yes.
So
Yeah.
if you go, there's nobody ever in that part of the queue. They're just queued up before the ride.
Right.
Just go and hang out and go through there. It's fun. It's
Yes.
cute.
So terrible ride. Terrible ride.
Yeah, I didn't
Terrible
dig on
ride.
it at all.
Yeah.
It was like, this is kind of, but maybe it's for babies, and I'm not a baby, and that's kind of what it is.
Well,
right?
I mean,
Like-
you're a little bit of a.
well, emotionally, yeah, but like
Yes.
mentally, no. I'm a 89-year-old man. I
It's
can't.
a
do
baby,
it.
like in the sense that all men are babies.
Yeah,
That's
it's true. I
Excuse
can't remember
me?
where my keys are.
Excuse me?
Yeah.
That's true.
I don't know. It's look, the technology. It's cool for where it was,
Right.
right? But in the sort of pantheon of great Disney technology, it was not.
Right.
But as far as what we've seen over here on this coast,
Yeah.
it was pretty good.
That's fine.
Well,
yeah.
and the fact that they thought it was going to be the greatest ride that they've ever done makes it an even bigger failure.
It is. I have friend, I guess. I mean, someone I know.
Jeez,
No, I mean,
rude.
you don't want to. Yeah, acquaintance, because you don't want to call him. Like I've known him forever, but it's
You don't want him to listen and go, "Oh, I can call on Terrence for a favor now."
basically I'm
Yeah.
not helping you move.
Right.
So, but he worked on that ride. He's one of the Imagineers for that ride, and he was like, "Yeah, this is gonna be horrible.
Oh wow.
It's gonna be so bad."
Imagine that's your job, designing a ride that you know is gonna suck. Like
Yeah.
that's that happens.
But
It
you know
has
what?
to
But there's
happen.
still a line for that ride. It's not like it's
because
because
it's a
not
thing
a
to do.
walk-on.
That's exactly. There's a lot of things. That'd be a fun like a poll to just send out to our listeners, just for fun,
Yeah.
right? Like, what ride do you ride because it's the thing to do? For
Yeah.
me, Winnie the Pooh. I like Winnie the Pooh,
agree.
sort of,
I
but
agree.
it's also just a thing to
a
do.
thing
for
to
me.
do.
It's Mater.
Oh, really?
I hate Mater.
God, Mater's it can rot. It can totally just rot away.
You
and
kind of liked
never-
it last time, so get over yourself.
No, I liked it. I liked getting in VIP status, skipping the entire line, and getting right on the ride. That I liked. But that's my life. Like, I can't go to concerts now because if I can't sit on the side of the stage,
I know, you're such a baby.
then I don't want to do it anymore.
That was
So
amazing, by the
basically,
way.
if you're a listener, never give me something that's a one-off because it'll just ruin me.
Yeah.
I have an honest
I
question.
don't know why I said that. Yeah,
The
it sounded really cool.
okay. The ride before it was Luigi's the tire
The Flying
ride.
Tigers, yeah.
Was that trackless or what was that?
So that's
Technically,
it's trackless.
it's trackless.
It's a boundaried ride. I guess is the best way I can
I just never
describe it.
really understood
A
how that worked. I
self-propelled
kind
ride.
of thought how
It's
like
air.
I kind of thought that it was
Yeah.
air, right?
It is
air.
It's
Yeah,
like
yeah,
an
yeah.
air,
Huge,
air
yeah.
pocky.
Yeah,
yeah,
they
so
had.
it just was
Air
never.
hockey.
Yeah, not
Yeah.
Pocky.
Love
yeah,
that.
Pocky is the snack.
It's the
Delicious.
It's
Oh,
super
so
good.
good. I have some.
Yeah, that didn't really.
Had.
That didn't really. There's no track, so
Yeah.
it doesn't even.
Okay.
It falls out of the category. It wouldn't even be a trackless ride because it's not even.
You
No,
could
it's-
even bump those
it's
to each
air-
other, couldn't you?
Supposedly,
supposed to.
I
If you
never
could get
saw
it to
anybody
move-
doing it.
If you
Puppy-
could get it
puppy
to
people couldn't get it
move,
to
You
move.
couldn't move.
My favorite part is watching that when it kind of opened and we were all sitting there. I don't know if you were
Yeah,
there or not.
Bev
I
was
was
on
on
it.
it.
Yeah.
No,
we-
no, 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 no. I think no. I think it was during the preview or something like that where we were there and they had all the beach
Oh, that
balls.
might have been different.
Yeah, yeah.
Oh.
And then
Yeah.
but it was during the Santa Ana winds, and the beach balls kept blowing out of the whole entire ride and just going.
It's a good idea.
And it was like,
Yeah.
oh,
No,
this is
That's
just
The
awesome.
second
perfect.
time I was on it.
Yes.
And I remember watching it and I was like, she's not having
She's
fun.
so angry.
She's also not moving. Like
Yeah.
Bev
Yeah,
just-
that's the
She's-
problem.
And when
generally
Bev-
with
so
those
bad.
whenever you watch that ride, maybe you get 10% of the people actually riding it, but only in the last 30 seconds do they figure it out.
Yes.
Yeah.
And everyone's sitting there going, this is and that's it.
Well, when I rode it, they kept stopping the ride, like every 10 or 15 seconds, because somebody was standing up trying to get it to move with their weight.
Mm-hmm.
They're like, you have to sit down. So it was just stop and go for however long that dumb ride was.
Well, look, California Adventure needs a traffic ride, and that was it.
You're absolutely right. So it worked for that. Now, the last ride, from everything I've heard and read, this is the best use of the technology, and it's Rise of the Resistance. I have not heard a single person say that they do not like this ride.
Yeah.
The immersion due to being able to drive underneath Imperial walkers, this is like my nerd dream. Like, this is insane. The ability to actually enter and use an elevator is phenomenal, what they've been able to do. So I'm going to take you through the ride, and then I'm going to end with technology that's probably going to be coming to a park near you soon. The ride begins with Finn explaining how to get to the escape pods. 2 transports exit the loading station. This is your trackless vehicle, where they pass 2 other empty transports heading into the loading station, with Beck speaking to the riders through the transport's radio. They enter another room where a probe droid nearly spots them. However, when they are about to reach 2 lifts, 2 stormtroopers spot the guests. The stormtroopers attempt to blast at the transports, but fail as the transports escape. They enter the next room, which includes 2 AT-ATs. The door leading out of the room closes before the transports can pass through. The stormtroopers spot the transports again and attempt to blast at them. An audio animatronic Finn and a stormtrooper suit help the guests at the transports. They split up, enter 2 lifts. Finn tells them to go down, but they go up instead. One of the vehicles is spotted by an AT-AT pilot and is almost blasted. In the next room, audio animatronic figures of Kylo Ren and General Hux are seen atop the ship's bridge, discussing the situation. Suddenly, a resistance ship fleet appears, and Ren notices the transports. The ride attempts to escape, but Ren jumps down in front of them and ignites his lightsaber as the transport enters the 2 lifts. through the door, though the doors close in front of them before he can get to them. As the lifts go down, Kylo's lightsaber suddenly cuts through the ceiling as they escape. The riders then enter a room with 3 cannons firing at the resistance, which they pass under and make it into the next room where Ren uses the Force on the transports, demanding that they tell him the whereabouts of resistance base. Suddenly, a hole is blasted into the wall, and Ren is almost blown out into space as debris falls over him. The transport enters the next room and enters the escape pods, where the ride turns into a motion simulator. After 2 other pods eject, the ride pods undergo a sudden drop and escape back onto Batuu. The transport exits the simulator and enters the hangar where animatronic Beck is seen in his escape pod, having just crash landed in the base. So, because of the fact that they're using Trackless technology, they are utilizing audio animatronic figures everywhere. They are utilizing the Trackless system where you can go underneath huge life-size Imperial walkers. You're able to then use Trackless technology to get onto an elevator, a working elevator. You use that to then take your Trackless pod into a motion simulator. It's insane, all the different technologies that they used on this ride. This is, without even riding it, I'm saying this is the best ride ever made.
Oh,
Without
can I start listening to you again after you've ruined the entire ride?
Oh yeah,
for
I
me?
completely
Oh,
changed them out.
shut up. Oh, shut up.
But also, it's like they
Spoiler
redeemed
alert, Thomas,
themselves
come
for
on, dude.
the dumpster fire that was Luigi.
I agree with him.
They really
and
did.
Smuggler's Run.
They really did.
Oh, boo.
So,
Yeah.
this is Trackless technology as we know it now.
Yeah.
Trackless technology that has a director stationed in each room to monitor what every vehicle is doing, is using RFID to monitor where things are on the floor. This is what we have. But because of that, you can only have so many vehicles in a certain scene at a certain time. You cannot have, like normal, I think the most they have in one area at a time with this technology is between 6 to 8.
Okay.
A company called Cavu, C-A-V-U Designs, just launched the first self-contained driving vehicle. So instead of having a proprietary CPU or a director that is controlling each vehicle, the vehicle contains everything within itself to be self-driven and self-guided.
Wow.
So what they're saying that this is able to do is, instead of having a director and using RFID for everything, it's going to be able to map its area and where it is, and you program what you want the movements to do, but based on where other vehicles are in the same area as them, it can go in any number of directions. It's basically limitless possibility for what these vehicles can do. And you can have,
hopefully,
hopefully,
considering how Rise of the Resistance goes down consistently still.
And with this vehicle, what they're saying is that these are being used in warehouses 24 hours a day with like 99% uptime.
Mhm.
It's supposed to be way more dependable than what they're using right now. And because of the fact that you now don't have to build the infrastructure in for, having all the computers and having everything in there, you can actually make the ride itself a little bit smaller. The vehicles can be themed any way you want. And this was all released in Orlando. And I wasn't able to find the patent, but there is currently a patent out
Okay.
from Disney for these self-contained vehicles.
Nice.
So I have a feeling that we'll be seeing something like this soon. So
Not in Disneyland, that's for sure.
we
don't get
are
anything fun.
landlocked.
Well, there's no room.
They're landlocked, man.
I mean, we get Rise, but
Maybe-
if they could decimate an entire land for
Toontown.
for the Avengers.
Okay, I'm actually
we
fully
can
on
we can
board for
find
this.
room.
Yeah, I kind of am too.
What?
For this Marvel land or this Avengers
Really?
land.
I mean,
Like,
you
I'm
got
really
rid of
kind
Bugs
excited.
Land you got rid of a movie land for a
Genre.
genre land.
Or
It's a smart move.
is it genre? That's not the right word.
No,
No.
but it's something. It's big. It's a
It's
universe land.
It's a universe.
Movie
Atta girl.
land to universe land. It makes
And
perfect
it fits,
sense.
And it does fit so perfectly because Tower of Terror is right there.
Yeah.
And that's already Marvel-y.
Marvel Land is going to be something. Now, did you guys see the new? I'm sorry, I'm done. So, did you guys see the video of the new the Spider-Man thing?
Yeah, I'm
doing
going to cover
stuff?
in the news. Yeah.
Okay.
Stop talking.
I haven't seen the video.
Okay.
No,
Well,
I
guess
haven't either.
you still won't because I can't show you, but
Well,
I'll
no,
talk
I
about it.
I can make the Google machine do it.
It's fascinating.
You're fascinating.
Wow, that's a very nice compliment.
It is.
Let's do some news.
That was interesting, Terrence. Thank you.
Yeah,
You're
I liked
welcome.
it.
You're welcome.
March in the past.
Oh.
Present and future.
Homie, I have no idea how to fix it.
News that's fit to
It's the
cover.
speed.
The Earzup
Oh, okay.
Disney News.
I'll just. Why didn't I think of that to look for the speed button? I should have done that.
I almost
Obviously,
spit
you
my
should.
beer all over my computer. It's a speed. Duh, dude.
Yeah,
Come on.
I should have done that. I'm so sorry, Bev. Let me look now. Can't find it.
But well, hold on. When she says speed, she means you need to speed it up.
Yeah, right. No, don't slow it down.
Just wanna make
Oh,
sure
I
we're on
thought
the
if
same
I
page.
went too fast, it would explode.
Yes. Can't go over 80 BPM.
I'm sorry. I stated the obvious.
Well, you kind of did.
Whatever.
But
It's funny because
I mean,
nothing
I'm
I do
also
with
not
it
wrong.
to it will work. Like even changing the pitch won't work. It's just I don't know. Something's weird.
you changed the file. You changed the
I think you
the
saved it as a
DNA
new
of
one.
the file.
I did. I did something.
It's like Jurassic Park.
Literally, sorry, not sorry.
Well, since Terrence talked about it already, where is my news? Disney's animatronic Spider-Man will swing over Disneyland crowds this summer. And Taryn, you and I saw the place where they're testing this when we drove around Imagineering a
We
couple years
did?
ago. Yeah, and we picked up our friend. It was in between buildings. You'll see the video and you'll recognize the outside of the buildings, but we saw the netting and we weren't really allowed to talk about it.
It was on the
Oh.
Imagineering story too. It was on the end of the last episode.
Yeah. Disney Imagineers have developed an animatronic Spider-Man that will be flying over Disney California Adventure Park soon. Disney Parks announced that the mechanical superhero will debut this summer along with the grand opening of Avengers Campus. It will be performing spectacular acrobatic flips and classic Spider-Man mid-air poses over the buildings of the new plaza. So you can look, just Google animatronic Spider-Man. You'll see the video. This is a particular one is from TechSpot, but whatever. The teaser video captured at a quote top secret location, which is Imagineering in Glendale, gives a small taste of what to expect. However, the behind-the-scenes testing video hammers home how amazing the Spider-Man animatron will be when it swings into action. After being flung from a cable, so you know how like a trebuchet kind of works, where like the string will like
Trebuchet?
yeah.
What's that?
I'm literally explaining it to you, where a
fancy name.
string catapults like a rock or something over.
Oh, okay.
It's like a catapult, but it swings around and gets more kinetic force. After being flung from a cable, the life-size robot executes picture-perfect Spider-Man poses in mid-air. Even a seasoned stuntman would have a hard time pulling off such graceful tricks without quite a bit of practice. Imagineers were able to get the endoskeleton perfectly balanced and articulated so that it does not look so it does not over-rotate or look clumsy. And so I'm like reading this, and I'm going, this is stupid. And so this particular article, there's like it said, a preview video from Disney, and it looks it's like this is gonna look like someone from the Pirates of the Caribbean, and you just put them in a catapult and throw them one out. But you watch the testing video,
Dude, it's crazy.
it is amazing.
Didn't we watch something like this when they were first talking about this with the dummy and it flipped? They flung it off
Yes.
the thing and
Yes,
okay,
that was
thank
like
you.
a few years
Wow.
back. Yes.
This is too much.
No, it's
No,
amazing.
this is
I'm
Skynet
so
kind of
much
stuff,
more
man.
excited.
This
I
is
love it.
horrible.
Also, the preview, thumbnail on the video, Spider-Man got cakes. Not gonna lie, Spider-Man got some cakes. See those things?
What's up, girl?
Yeah. What's up, baby? But I mean,
Whoa.
here you can just like
Man, ain't bad.
look at it.
That's incredible.
It really is, man. Like watching this thing just get launched from this cable, and it does some poses, man. There they are.
That's so good. I think this is amazing.
It's so crazy to think about how far technology has come. Where
Yeah.
you're able to
There it
do
goes.
this.
There it goes, right there, and then just launches in the air.
I
And
just-
those are Spider-Man, like, boop.
That's so.
I mean,
so-
Amazing.
considering like our parents had to get off the couch to change the channel on
Right.
the TV.
Bro.
I had to do that even.
I know.
But, we didn't have a nice TV at the time. But it's like, that to me kind of blows my mind is whenever I see somebody, over 70 or whatever, I think of all of the things that they've experienced, whether they know it or not, and where we are today. It's
mind-blowing.
It's too much. I feel like we have it too good now.
It's too much. Skynet, I'm telling you, man.
But anyway, so check that out. That'll be cool. So I want to stand corrected. I thought it was going to look hokey, but it looks amazing.
I'm doing this presentation at work about this new system that we're using, and I started with explaining how far technology has gone and why we should be using it, and blah, blah, blah. And so one of the things I found was that, so Apollo 11, which is what sent Neil Armstrong to the moon, had used like 32,000 bytes of RAM. And our phones, a 4 gigabyte phone now uses like 4 billion bytes of the same RAM.
Yeah.
And it's literally over 1 million times stronger. Like, our phones are more than 1 million times stronger than the computer that sent a man to the moon. Like, it's insane.
It is.
And that's not even that many years. I don't know how many, so that's why I said that. It's like
Well, don't let anybody know.
No.
Don't
I
tell
almost
them.
made an allegedly joke, but I'm gonna not. I don't.
Yeah, Kubrick is really good at faking the moon landing. That's for sure. Have you guys seen or heard about Hamilton, the play?
Yes.
Yeah.
You guys, who's seen it?
I haven't seen it.
Oh, none of us are
Okay,
rich.
but you've
I've
heard
seen
it.
I'm just kidding.
Oh, I was like, damn.
I'm on the daily lottery. I haven't won yet
For
the Hamilton tickets.
they have there's a lottery for the tickets.
It's an app, and you just every day
God,
you apply for.
What is this? The Book of
Really?
Mormon? I mean, come on.
It's probably bigger.
Well, apparently Disney bought the movie rights
I've heard this.
to
Oh.
Hamilton,
Nice.
and they're gonna release a film version.
I'm up for that because I'm never going to go see it.
Well,
I'm never gonna
same,
go see it
yeah.
either, dude. Who cares? Like, I don't really care.
Never gonna win the lottery.
Disney announced Monday. First of all, if that's the lottery if you're gonna win one lottery, I don't want it to be tickets to a play. Here's a chance to buy more things. No, give me
They're
$1
$10
million.
The tickets?
The tickets are $10. If you win the lottery, the tickets are $10,
Oh.
but they're like $200 tickets.
So
It's
it's
not
worth
bad.
it.
I don't like it. Disney announced Monday that it will release a film version of the Tony-winning musical Hamilton, featuring the original Broadway cast and filmed on stage
love
at the
that.
Richard Rodgers Theater in New York City. Obtaining the rights to the movie, set for release October 15th, 2021. So it sounds like they're just going to record the play.
Yeah.
It's going to be a movie version, but it's the movie is the play.
Yeah.
Which
I like
in
it.
my communication my communication was very good with that. It's a movie, but a play, but a movie. It's a huge coup for Disney, which topped $10 billion in box office sales last year, and allows a stage show that still fetches eye-watering ticket prices. Eye-watering because it hurts, because you're. Anyway, that's it. That's all I got for you.
10 billion?
That's what Disney raked in last year in the box office. 10 bills, dude.
It's a lot.
That's
Yeah.
insane.
I didn't
Yeah.
even think people went to the movies anymore.
Well, and you would think that Disney has enough money, but no. Disney chairman apologizes to PTA, asked to pay a fee after the Lion King screening. This happened right here in our backyard in Berkeley, California. An elementary school showed a privately owned DVD of The Lion King at a movie night, which was also a fundraiser. And apparently somehow the licensing company that Disney uses caught wind and sent them a bill for $250.
A
That's
fundraiser, a bill?
Yeah.
Bro, come
That's
on.
gross.
Bob,
That's gross.
man.
That's a little off-brand. Also.
See, well, so
Bobby.
I don't fault Disney for it because it this article specifically is in the New York Times because I'm elevated. Specifically calls out the licensing firm that Disney uses.
Right.
So I feel like it's a lot of Disney lawyers are sort of autonomous in that way where they just look for stuff.
Right.
I feel like this company just looks for this stuff and go, oh well, you gotta. I mean, on the one hand, it's the letter of the law. You have to get a license for it.
Right.
And they make a note to say where's the number? 25,000 schools across the country had licenses for this kind of stuff, and
I would
the Berkeley one
never.
didn't. I would never think about
I
it
would
either.
never think about that.
Well, I don't know. Maybe I would because I've read so many articles over the years of people doing this kind of stuff where they go, "Oh, I'm just going to charge tickets and then you can watch this movie." It's like that's not how it works.
Yeah.
You have
But
to.
is it different if you're charging for the event and not to watch a movie? Like,
Yeah.
it's just part of it's on during the event.
Well, I mean, I guess it makes sense.
No, because it's. I mean,
It's like paying music. Like when we do
Yeah.
festivals, I have to pay ASCAP
yeah.
for the bands that play, for the music that they play.
You mean people are going to
Totally
get caught?
ridiculous.
It is. Well, but also, the people who made this movie, which Disney. I wonder. See, I guess that feeds into their residuals. All the people from
Yeah.
the movie and stuff like that. So, you're screening a piece of art that someone performed. They should get paid for that, regardless if it's for a good reason or
But
not.
somebody else owned it. It was their property to
Yeah,
share.
But if next time you watch a DVD, which by the way, who watches DVDs?
I don't even-
It'll say like it's only for private use,
yeah.
and that's it.
Well,
and
and
that this was not private use. This is public use.
and if there's any city that's going to understand art and not selling other people's
Paying
art,
people equal money for the work that they've done.
It is Berkeley.
It would be Berkeley. You would think, right? But
So I'm sorry. The article was Disney apologizing to them or them apologizing
Yeah.
to Disney.
no. So I guess Bob Iger caught wind of it and was like, "It's fine." So on Wednesday, the school said that about $800 had been raised the night of the screening, but when they talked about it in the press, which of course they made it out to be, Disney is coming after us, the poor school, and it was very much a cry me, even though that they were in the wrong. They were in the wrong on this. You can't say you were correct that Disney's trying to get money out of you, because if they don't, then they can't enforce that law. Copyright law is very, very specific. You cannot let people get away with it. You can't just go, like a case by case thing.
This
You can't
guy's
do it.
okay, but that guy absolutely not.
No, you
Yeah.
have to come to terms and come to deal with
Right.
those people. So, anyway, according to Miss Drosty, whoever that is, the DVD copy of the 2019 version, so it's even the bad version of The Lion King, used at the screening last November, had been purchased from Best Buy by a father at the school. Why is that a paragraph in
cares?
this article?
Because he owns it in his mind. I can show it wherever
They
I
know
want
all
because
the
I bought it.
details.
The day Movie Licensing USA sent notice to Emerson PTA, Ms. Drosty reflected on Proposition 13, a 1978 voter initiative in California that critics say has made it difficult for public school districts to attain proper funding.
I hate Berkeley.
Who wants to hear an unbelievable story about how Disney is essentially fining Berkeley's Emerson Elementary School PTA $250 while reaping millions of dollars through a corporate loophole that has
Billions.
decimated public schools across America? Or California? The fundamental message is this, she added. It's absurd that PTAs throughout California have to raise money, a lot, to pay for teachers and financial scholarships when this can be easily remedied through investment in our public schools. Literally nothing to... You broke the law.
Exactly.
You
Yeah.
are
Exactly.
incorrect. This is what you should be teaching your kids. Do things the right way. Go through the right channels. Yeah, I understand you think it's ridiculous, but this is the rule. If you want the rule changed, then change it.
Exactly.
But don't just circumvent it and then cry foul when you get caught doing it.
Right, I agree.
Anyway. Let me find out where Bob Iger jumps in on this.
I'm not saying that I'm guilty of doing this. I'm gonna leave it at that.
Bro, I see like on social media all the time breweries. Oh, come on, we're gonna screen the Big
Bro,
Lebowski.
seriously.
You know they're not getting it, but some of them do.
Yeah,
like
no.
our friend Steve, who used to own Kinetic, they
Yeah.
would get licenses for like Ghostbusters and
Well,
stuff.
Sven's smart
And that's
for
what
doing
you
that,
should
bro.
do.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's exactly what you should be doing. Everybody needs to get paid, whether you think that they get paid too much, or that you don't get enough, or that you're getting shafted.
Yeah.
I'm sorry, you got to follow the rules. And
yeah.
so they're saying, where is it? Let's see. Bob Iger said in a post on Twitter that the company apologizes to the Emerson Elementary School PTA, and I will personally donate to their fundraising initiative. And that's the proper way.
Yeah.
So it's not Bob Iger's fault this happened, because he doesn't control everything.
Right. You're right.
So he found out about it. He fixed the situation. Everything. This
Go.
is how it should be.
And it's the law.
And it's the law. That's just what it is.
It is, but I mean, I don't think most people know that law. You know, in a previous life,
Especially like a PTA, like
Yeah, no.
I
people
It
like,
literally says on the DVD that you can't do the thing that everybody's there
So,
for.
I mean, but I think
but that's a little unclear, to be quite honest. It doesn't, like
You
for
can't-
public consumption. Like, okay, well, I'm not going to take it to the movie theater and put it on the screen.
you
I'm
can't
putting it on-
charge
But you're
people.
charging people to do that.
That's the you could
No,
you,
I
you
get
get
it.
everybody over to watch it for free, but if you the minute you charge them $1,
Yeah.
a penny, that's when.
But only
issues-
if you do it to watch the movie. So like what Doug said in the chat, which is smart, charge them for the popcorn. $5 for a bag of popcorn, but you get to watch the movie for free.
Mm-hmm.
They can't get you with that because
It's
you're
how
not
you-
charging. You're not.
It's how you word it.
It's how you
how
market
you word
it.
It's how you market
Exactly.
it. But I've done that before. Back in the day, like at with youth, I would say, "Hey, $5, we're gonna go watch this movie. We're gonna watch the movie here." I should have been arrested or gotten charged for
I
it.
don't think
Arrested.
But you don't.
arrested.
But you know what I mean. But what I mean is that
Send him to
I
the
was,
gulag.
I was breaking the law, but I didn't realize I was breaking the law, and I think that's
Breaking the law.
breaking the
breaking the
law.
Well, you know what? It's $250 for a license, and you can. So it's
That's a lot.
K through 12. $250. You can screen Frozen 2 right now. You can do a fundraiser at school, watch Frozen, have a movie night.
That's a third of what they made, though.
Exactly.
But they made money off watching this movie.
Yeah, but I
They're still making
Yeah.
money.
No, I know, but yeah.
Yeah.
They just need to not screen movies. They need to do something else
Or
for their
suggested-
fundraiser.
suggested donation.
Or
Yeah, that's what it is.
Yeah.
it's $250, and I think it's not even per movie. I think it's like a year thing or
It's a
something like that.
one-time.
I don't think it's a
Bro,
one-time
let's do
thing.
No,
a
no, no. I mean,
fundraiser
it's
every-
no, it is a one-time thing for the year,
Oh, right. See, there you go. It's
or
for
maybe for the quarter.
or whatever
like,
it is
I
for
think it's
multiple
quarterly.
But it's
screenings.
not like they're doing a fundraiser every week.
But why not? If it's so hard, have one every quarter. Have a summer movie night. I mean, you
Yeah.
could do a lot with
I know what you're
that
saying.
license. So if you're going to pay for it, then you really got it. Anyway, whatever. I don't care anymore. But kudos to Bob Iger, to Bobby I. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Coming through with the big bucks. And if he's any kind of man, he should over donate. He should give that school $5,000.
match what they made.
100%. No,
Yeah.
$5,000.
No.
Go over.
Triple what they made.
Something.
okay.
He really should.
All
But
right.
then maybe that's gonna make
You
other
can't
people
set
think
a
they can do
precedent.
that.
Exactly.
Yeah. So
Exactly.
I don't know. People are ruining stuff. Here's some breaking news. It's not really breaking news, but if you're gonna go to Disney World between February 15th through the 17th, very pointed news. The Muppets Present Great Moments in American History is coming back.
That's awesome.
Yeah, with times all over the place. But yeah, they used to do it in I want to say America Land, but what is it called? I forget what
I've
it's
never
called.
been there, so I don't know.
But
The
you
one
should-
where the Hall of Presidents are. It's,
yeah, but what is the stupid land called? Come on.
President Land.
Yeah, that's what I think it is. It's President
it's not
Land.
President
not.
Land.
Is it like the Liberty-
Liberty Square.
Liberty
Liberty
Square.
Square.
Yeah,
Thank
thank
you
you.
very
Good
much.
job.
You guys.
Beverly, no. Wow.
Well, no, she said Liberty. Taryn said Square.
Yeah.
So two halves
Two
of the
halves of
brain
one
The
brain.
Square
work
Liberty.
together.
Isn't that-
But
Are
they used-
better than both of your brains.
Hell yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah, I just
High
don't.
five.
I
How
just
are you
don't.
gonna say something about me? I didn't even make fun of you.
I don't know.
It's
I
just-
know.
you didn't know, so
This is basically just the show's going to turn into an episode of Married with Children. We're gonna wear no ma'am shirts. It's gonna be
Oh,
great.
yeah, I remember that.
But yeah, so the Muppets used to do a thing, and then they stopped, and then now it's back for like 2 or 3 days. So that's cool because I love the Muppets, and they're great. Do you remember? I think we've covered this a couple of times, but the dude who got arrested for sneaking back into, he was an employee of Disney World, sneaking back in and like stealing a bunch of clothes and wigs and
yeah.
stuff,
Yep.
and then put it on eBay for sale.
Yep.
Well, he's finally been charged.
Okay.
oh wow, that took a long time.
2 Central Florida men accused of stealing hundreds of thousands. It's not even accused anymore. He's
He just did it.
he copped the plea.
Yeah.
They've accepted plea deals to avoid jail time. Investigators say former employee Patrick Spikes and his cousin, get this guy's name, dude, Blayton Tauntaun.
Are you kidding me?
No.
No.
Blaytintaunton.
No.
Tauntaun.
Oh,
I
if you
thought
type
they-
in blatant into Google,
Jeez.
Tauntaun
I
comes
thought
up.
they smelled bad on the outside.
That's right. I guess in the holding cell, if they had gone to jail, Patrick could have just cut Blayton open to sleep inside if he was cold. They were in the business of swiping Haunted Mansion costumes, wigs, and other memorabilia and peddling them to collectors. The photos they took of each other, which we made fun of here on this very show, and the other items they stole from Disney World's Magic Kingdom and Epcot proved to be their undoing. Yeah, they would take pictures and post them online
Yup.
of the stuff that people were looking for. Like, these people are brain dead.
Yes.
Or they're like a serial killer where they have to keep like a memento, and that's their memento.
But they
is,
put it
like,
on social media.
Yeah, I know. Because they kind of want to get caught.
I guess. They entered no contest pleas. Spikes, who was charged with dealing in stolen property, was sentenced to 10 years probation.
It's a lot of probation.
years?
That's a ton of probation. He's going to get caught up. I feel like, not to sound like, like a politician or whatever, but the probation system is sort of designed to make people mess up.
Yup.
10 years of
Yup.
probation. You know that kid's not going to check in one time and he's going to jail.
Exactly.
Oh, yeah.
Whatever, right?
Exactly.
Whatever they do, fine. I don't know, because at this point it doesn't matter. But I feel like 10 years is egregious, even
It's
for all this.
excessive,
Yes,
yeah.
Beverly, raising
so
your hand. Go ahead.
they went to court in Orange County?
Florida.
Orange County, Florida.
Florida.
Yeah.
Okay, I was like, what? Wow,
Yeah.
it's full circle.
They shipped them out. It was real weird.
But also, if you Google these guys, they literally look like the same person.
They're the same person.
they're cousins,
And also,
dude. They're-
that last name doesn't fit that face.
No, it does not. Absolutely not. So that was Spike's Tauntaun, charged with grand theft, was sentenced to 5 years probation. Both will serve community service and share repayment of more than 25 grand in restitution. The judge, imagine. So you've seen these guys.
Yeah.
Imagine how long it's going to take them to both make $25,000.
Oh, bro. I know.
The judge also gave them a specific order not to return to any Disney property while they are on probation. So
It should just be banned forever.
I agree.
I mean, I'm pretty sure Disney probably has them banned forever.
So do you know what he said when he left?
After
Okay,
after
go
the
for you.
hearing, when asked if he had anything else to say, Spikes told reporters, "I'm going to Disney World," which is
No.
kind of fun.
That's
Are you kidding
hilarious.
me?
But also,
like when they-
literally, he
yeah.
can't.
That's hilarious.
Apparently, there are videos available. It says, "Watch, can I call my mom? Man accused of stealing Disney costumes scuffles with officers."
I think we played it even actually
Yeah.
on the Secret Show or
Jeez.
whatever. But
Call my mom. Nah, fool. You're done.
anyway, that's it. That's the show, boys.
That was
Okay,
good.
that's good.
Yeah, it was a good time. Let's see. Oh, you know what? I need to read my notes better because you know what I forgot to talk about, and I don't know why. Probably because I don't have any in front of me. The 21st Amendment.
Mm-hmm.
You go to 21st Amendment. Doc, I don't know. I should. I'm so used to like saying URLs that I just. Yeah. Anyway, the 21st Amendment has been serving craft beer in the San Francisco Bay Area for 19 years, from their initial brew pub on 2nd Street, which is just 2 blocks from Giants Stadium. So if you come into San Francisco, you want to see a Giants game. If you don't go to the 21st Amendment at 563 2nd Street,
You've done it all wrong.
you have not gone. Don't
You've
go
not
to
lived.
yeah. Don't go to the bar in the Giant Stadium, which is a very nice bar. Actually, you can, but do the 2-1-A first. That's where a lot of local Giants fans meet up before and after the game. You gotta do that.
Yeah.
It's a really fun environment.
21st-amendment.com.
Thank you very much. So from that place in San Francisco to the production brewery and tap room across the bay in San Leandro, the 21st Amendment is now available in 29 states, including in and around the parks. They just released a beer in collaboration with Pete's Coffee,
Yeah, yeah.
which I haven't
that's cool.
had yet. Yeah, I'm excited about that. So check that out. And you know what? If you are coming out here for some reason, go to the 21st Amendment locations because they do Strong Beer Month with Magnolia.
Mm-hmm.
And they have some really nice beers that come out every year, so
Yeah.
check that out. So next time you're in the city, visit the brew pub and shoot over to neighboring San Leandro to check out the production brewery and tap room for great beers and good food. And be sure to ask for the 21st Amendment wherever you find good craft beer. Okay, what I do want to mention is, I believe, what's our next show? I forget what our next show is called.
It's the history
Ugh.
of Autopia done
Why
by
did
Bev.
I sign up for this? I signed up for this honestly in the hopes that I would find something interesting to make me
Yeah.
not just despise it so much.
Bev,
I'm so excited
Bev
for
is
it.
Bev is Silas from what's that Dan Brown friggin' Da Vinci Code? He was just self-flagellate all the time because he's
I do flatulate all the time.
he was weird and pale and he
Aw.
hated himself and he liked to hurt himself. So that's you, weird, pale. Hate yourself by
so
doing
pale.
Autopia. Yeah, I don't know. It's
Pale,
winter.
pale.
Whatever you're
I'm
gonna do.
pale in the summer.
So after that, I think the 3rd is our next show. Speaking of Eric from the beginning of the show, he's coming on to talk Run Disney. Eric from Concierge.
Nice. Is it coming back to?
Well, I don't know. He might know a thing or two, but I doubt it. But we're going to talk about basically if you are interested in doing a run, which I think you should. I had a good time doing the 5K. I would never do the 10K. That's not true. I might. But if you're interested about that, obviously Concierge can help you. But Eric will talk about how to prepare for the race, what to expect, and then more importantly, how to have fun afterwards. Because that was a big fear that we had. Is how are we going to spend a full day at Disneyland after running 5,000 miles, which I think is what a 5K
It
is.
is.
Yeah, it felt like
Let
that's what it is.
alone Disney World, where it's also hot.
Oh my God! And
I
you
can't even imagine.
no, and there's more walking to do. There's a lot of stuff.
They're still not doing running in Anaheim?
No.
They're done with that forever?
Yeah, I don't know forever.
it
They
can't-
can't be forever, but
No.
I would imagine not at least until after the Disney Vacation Club building is built.
Yeah.
Just
I
'cause-
think they're trying to figure out what they're doing here, and then
Yeah.
and so their development team is like, hey, let's not screw this up any more than we already have.
Right.
Keep it canceled. Let's figure out what we're building,
Pump those brakes.
and then we'll talk.
yeah. Well, anyway, that's the full show, everybody. So
That was good times.
thank you for tuning in, Terrence. You did a good job, buddy.
Thank you.
Bev, you
Hi.
did a good job, buddy.
Thanks.
Breaking my clamp. I
You're
gotta
a
send
good
this
breaker of things.
back to
Sorry.
Amazon, dude.
Yeah, that.
I feel like
mean,
this clamp is representative of my spirit.
That really wasn't my fault. I
jeez.
really wasn't muscling it closed.
No, it's a cheap compressed thing, whatever. Anyway, thanks a lot to Concierge. Thanks a lot to 21st Amendment. Wherever you find them, drink their beers. They're good stuff. We love them over here. And we'll be back in a couple weeks for the next show.
Yeah, the 20th.
20th.
I
So
promise it
you live people,
will be
yeah.
something.
It'll be something. Hopefully I'll get my clamp replaced.
Clamp.
Whatever. Anyway, yeah, you live people, come back. Come back. Let's hang out in the chat room. That was a good time. Supreme Resort, the Case of the Poos is what I'm going to call it. That'll be up in a couple days, probably tomorrow, actually. So check out the latest Supreme Resort. Be sure to go into their Facebook group and check them out as well and join the conversation. So I started a Facebook group for Ears Up in Depth, and I'm like, I don't want to run this. So it's literally just me and Jeremy, and we just talk to each other. It's really boring.
So you're not texting, but texting.
Yeah, but we might do one for this show. I don't know if
I
anyone's
think you
interested.
should do one for this show.
I think so
But
too.
who wants? You want to run it?
No.
What do you have to run?
You have to post topical conversational stuff
Don't
and
we have social
reply to
media
people.
people?
I couldn't even get Maddie to post for this dumb show today. I had to do it myself.
Huh.
That's why it was funny.
I'll do it for like 3 weeks, and then I'll forget about it.
Yeah, you have other stuff to do.
Yeah.
Terrence should do it, but he's busy.
I have no time, man.
Terrence would be the best. If
Yeah,
Terrence
that's right.
starts posting more of his questions on Facebook, then I'll be like, then we can reach out to him again and go, you do these questions on Ears Up.
If all I have to do is yeah, okay. You know what? I'll do it. I got it.
No,
No, I'm
'cause
doing
you're-
it.
You're saying yes, and then
You know what's funny is we were
I'm gonna do
at our
I'm
friend
gonna
Glove's Greg
Yeah,
not
yeah.
Greg's birthday party, and I was talking to Angry Becca.
Oh, you got invited to that. Huh.
Oh snap! I didn't realize you didn't get it. Well, hi, what's going
No,
on?
honestly, we're not that close with them, so
Neither
it
are
would- it would
we,
be
but
weird. Oh.
yeah, I don't know how we got invited.
That was the conversation
Huh.
Becca and I had on the way there. Is Bev coming?
That's what I thought too. I was like,
Don't
"Where's
think so.
Bev?" I don't know. Anyway, so
Greg, please don't be uncomfortable by this.
He said he didn't like you, so it's fine. Go on.
yeah, so I was,
Fair enough.
we actually had a dartboard with your face on it.
Yeah.
Honestly, that's amazing.
Yeah, and we were talking about how you don't have a whole lot of time, but Becca was like, well, he's really focusing all his energy into the new job, into going back to school and all that kind of
Yeah.
stuff. And I go, yeah, you know what? That's really cool. I was actually really proud of Terrence because I contacted him to ask him to run this stupid Facebook group I was thinking about doing,
Yeah.
and he said he didn't have time. And I feel like old Terrence would have said yes and then not done it.
Okay, so I'm not going to do it now.
And then so Becca's like, oh, he didn't tell me that. That's weird. But I'm like, yeah, but I guess,
Yeah.
but also it's cool that he now knows that he's learning his limitations. I think that's great.
I didn't have time
So-
to talk to Becca, so
So now I don't know what to think.
I can.
Yeah.
I actually can do it. I can do it. It's not a.
If he just has to post a question or whatever.
I got you.
All right.
I got you.
All right. Well, thanks a lot, everybody, for tuning in. You may or may not hear about an Ears Up group. I don't know. We'll see. Okay, until next time, everybody, we will see you in the parks.